A victim of Seminole County's former tax collector is demanding answers. Joel Greenberg pleaded guilty to several federal crimes, including child sex trafficking and stalking a political rival. Now that political rival, a school teacher, wants the governor to get involved. He spoke with News 6 investigator Mike DeForest. Mike joins us now live in the newsroom. So, Mike, what does the victim hope will happen?
Well, Lisa, Brian Butte is asking the governor and other state leaders to launch an outside review of the Joel Greenberg case. Now, he believes there were very early signs that the tax collector was up to no good, and Butte wants to know what state and local authorities may have been doing about it.
I'm educating other people's children, and to be accused of something like that.
Music teacher Brian Butte recalls the day he first learned about this letter sent to his private school, supposedly written by a very concerned student, claiming Butte had a sexual relationship with another student.
A lot of tears, and I have daughters, so I have to explain this to them.
Just days earlier, Butte had filed paperwork to run for Seminole County tax collector against the incumbent Joel Greenberg.
It's an attempt to undermine the integrity of the 2020 local elections.
David Baer, Butte's attorney, says they pressed the Seminole County Sheriff's Office to find out who sent the anonymous letter. Sheriff's investigators later discovered fingerprints on it belonging to Greenberg, who now admits he wrote it. Greenberg recently pleaded guilty in federal court to 6 charges, including stalking, wire fraud, identity theft, and child sex trafficking. Most of those crimes were uncovered by federal authorities, not state investigators.
The governor hasn't once addressed the situation.
Butte, a Republican, is asking Governor Ron DeSantis to order an outside review of the Greenberg case.
There are way too many questions and not enough answers.
Butte wants to know if the state may have missed uncovering evidence that could have stopped Greenberg's crime spree sooner.
I just find that rather odd that what had happened in this county over 4 years not only slipped through the cracks, but also still continues to be ignored.
Governor DeSantis' office did not respond to multiple requests for comment, so we took Butte's question to Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody. How did the state of Florida miss this?
Well, the investigatory agencies that are working with federal prosecutors presumably had information. I don't know how that was obtained.
The Attorney General says her office was never asked to get involved in the Greenberg case, and Moody would not commit to an outside review.
You would have to ask the specific individual investigatory agency.
Brian Butte believes the governor should be the one asking questions about the Greenberg investigation, if only to deter similar corruption elsewhere in the state.
He has the authority. It's a win-win for everyone, including himself.
We now know the U.S. Department of Justice was secretly looking into Joel Greenberg as early as April 2019. That was about 6 months before Greenberg admits he sent that letter to Butte's school. Now, once the U.S. government took charge of the case, we're told local authorities stepped aside so as to not interfere in the federal investigation. But Brian Butte believes there needs to be an accounting of what happened before the feds got involved. Lisa.
Mike, this case has just been absolutely amazing, a giant onion, layer after layer. So what's next for Joel Greenberg now?
Well, as you know, he pleaded guilty to several crimes, and he's scheduled to be sentenced in November. Now, Greenberg is reportedly cooperating with federal authorities on other investigations. We do not know yet who else might be facing criminal charges. Lisa.
We know you will continue to follow it, Mike, for us. Thank you. Our News 6 investigators have created a timeline of events explaining the case against Greenberg. You can find it under the Investigators tab at clickorlando.com.